Welcome to TNT Signs of Times Reports by Toby Lee Millway, you guys. May 20th, 23, Saturday night, 11:03 p.m. Fact check. How many Su-57 fighter jets does Russia have? Su-57 Felon, both the latest and the only operational fifth-generation fighter jet in Russia's possession, become even more prominent following the start of the country's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February of 22. While initial reports about its use in the campaign were questionable, Russian state media later claimed that the jet launched at least some standoff munitions at Ukrainian targets. At the same time, the Felon received additional popularity after it was portrayed in the widely popular Top Gun Maverick action film. While the Russian Air Force continued to receive new jets of this type and talk about expanding its production. Meanwhile, accounts about just how many aircraft of the model are currently in Russia's possession appear to vary significantly. Some claimed 3 or less Su-57s are actually operational, while others said their number was actually slightly over a dozen. I heard 10. That's what I'm trying to find. And I would say it could be over a dozen by now. But which figure is closer to the truth? How many operational Su-57s does Russia have? Let's check available facts. Problems with serial production. While there are several ways to find the answer, none of these are 100% certain. And as expected, the development of the country's top-of-the-line jet is quite secretive. The only thing we can state with a high degree of certainty is that the number of serial produced Su-57s currently in the possession of Russian aerospace forces is in the single digits. While initial plans aim for the aircraft to enter the service in 2017, by 2019, only one production Su-57 had rolled off the assembly line. As the aircraft was being tested, it crashed in December 2019 before ever reaching the Air Force. It was only in December 2021 that Russia Aerospace Forces were able to get its hands on its first Felon. In January 2022, the second batch of Su-57s was delivered, consisting of 2 more aircraft. Then in May of 2022, a further two were spotted at an airbase near Novosibirsk. Some reports claim that the aircraft were later delivered to the Air Force, constituting the third batch of deliveries. However, there was no official announcement in that regard. This brings the total number of serially built Su-57s serving with the Russian Aerospace Forces to enter 3 or 5, depending on whatever the last pair of fighters had been delivered or if they are still being tested. However, there is some contradictory information about these deliveries. The prototypes. In mid-August of 2022, the CEO of United Aircraft Corporation, UAC, Yuri Slicer, offered another figure for the Su-57s under a state contract with the Russian Defense Ministry for the serial production of the Su-57s. 4 aircraft have been built as of today, as saying by Russia's state news agency TASS. But where did the number come from? Well, there are 2 ways to interpret this figure. One is to think that Skysar counted only the first 2 batches of Su-57s, including the aircraft that crashed, and disregarded the third batch as it had not been delivered. Another way is to exclude the serial-made Felons that could have been refurbished prototypes between 2004 and the start of serial production in 2019, Russia built 13 more Su-57s. The aircraft were prototypes. They were intended for static tests, and 10 were flyable. That's what I thought. The first batch of flyable prototypes, the numbers between T-51 and T-56, displayed a host of problems with their airframes and engines. At least one of the aircraft, the T-52, was later turned into a flying laboratory for testing the iDesign 30, a new engine intended for equipped for all Su-57s by the end of the decade. Two more T-55 and T-56 caught fire but were reassembled to make them flyworthy again. They became the first so-called second-stage prototypes with the reinforced airframes and other improvements. Four more second-stage prototypes, numbered T-58 and T-5011, were manufactured from scratch. Either 2 or 4 second-stage prototypes were deployed to Syria in 2018, displaying at least some combat capability. This means that Russia has at least 6 more operational Su-57s. Some first-stage prototypes are also operational, although their exact number is unclear and their combat potential is debatable. In theory, this could bring the number of operational Su-57s to 11 or more. However, there are reports that some of the serial-made Bellons are second-stage prototypes brought up to the serial production standard. In particular, one of the Su-57s spotted in May 22 as a part of the third batch of serial deliveries was identified as repainted T-5011 and the 10th flyable prototype. This could explain the remark. Of 6 serial-made Su-57s, 2 could have been modified prototypes, and the only 4 built by UAC from the ground up. The verdict. So how many operational Su-57s does Russia really actually have? The short answer is between 3 and 15. I have to sit up for that one. All right. Depending on how we count. You know, I think that Russia would keep that totally a secret. You know what I'm saying? I would say he's mass producing them by putting gold behind his money. That's why he's getting that gold. Excuse me. 3 are serial-made examples that have been delivered to the Russian Air Force. 2 further aircraft were manufactured, but as a part of late August 22, may not have been delivered yet. In addition, there are 10 flyable prototypes. That's what I always thought. Of the 6 first-stage ones, only 1 is likely to be operational. 2 more were rebuilt into second-stage prototypes. 4 more second-stage prototypes were produced, which brings likely to count combat capabilities prototypes to 6. However, it is possible that up to 2 of those prototypes were further modified and delivered as serial-made Bellons, bringing the total number of combat-capable prototypes down to 4, and the total number of Su-57s available to the Russian Air Force to 9. If you heard spinning from all these numbers, if your head is spinning from all these numbers, there is a handy visual organized the Bellons. Were Su-57s in Russia's victory parade fake? Yes. Were Su-57s in Russia's victory parade live stream fake? Yes. On May 9th, 2021, Russia celebrated the anniversary of the victory in World War II. As usual, a massive parade has been organized, with thousands of military personnel and hundreds of vehicles. The latest gadgets of the Russian aerospace forces were showcased, including the MiG-31 interceptor armed with hypersonic 47M2 Kinzhal missile and the country's newest jet, the fifth generation stealth fighter, the Su 57. The show was impressive. In fact, some would say a bit too impressive. The climax of the parade, at least for aviation enthusiasts worldwide, happened approximately an hour and 7 minutes in when the live stream showed a close up of a cockpit of the Su 57 before zooming out and whirling around a formation of jets in particularly cinematic manner. So beautiful, a number of commenters on multiple screens remarked simultaneously. Impressive CGI animation, and other commentators follow. No, I think it is a live video. Military expert interpreted a presenter who is making a similar remark on Russian operational TV. The same footage of the fighter jets was used by every Russian media channel, and in comment sections of many of them, a question of authenticity was raised. In such conspiracy theory warranted, has Russian TV really presented computer generation images instead of real footage of the newest fighter jet? Yes, and it was not that difficult to prove. Anyways, we love you. We care about you. We're out.